This vital position on the Persian Gulf possesses a TV station with a powerful transmitter, allowing it to aid propaganda support for the ongoing MEC campaign. US Rapid Deployment Forces have captured this coastal position and now face a determined counterattack by converging MEC forces. This lazy seaside resort of villas, markets, and beach houses is about to become a modern battlefield, as US forces attempt to hold on to their newly captured communications prize. This video is going to be a map analysis of the Sharqi Peninsula map from Battlefield 2. We'll be looking at the real-life inspirations for the map, as well as the environment and layout of the map itself. We'll also be going over the flag points and equipment that both the USMC and MEC forces have at their disposal here. Looking at the description for the map, it says that Sharqi Peninsula is located along the Persian Gulf, which would mean that the map itself would most likely take place in Saudi Arabia, except that the terrain of the map doesn't really match that of the Saudi Arabian coast, as the geography is flat and not mountainous. I actually think that Sharqi Peninsula is located somewhere along the coast of Oman, since the mountainous terrain better matches that of the map. And there are a couple of major cities such as Muscat and Sur that also look similar to the town on the map. Due to this map taking place along a coast, we hear the various sounds of wind, waves, and bergs, and the humming interior of the TV station itself. The number of control point locations varies depending on what size version of the map one is playing on. Sharqi Peninsula has 3 map sizes, a 64-player, 32-player, and 16-player. I'll be focusing on the 64-player version, as the 32 and 16-player versions of the map are the same, except that they have less control points to capture due to their reduced play space and smaller player count. But I'll denote on the screen which control point locations are available on each versions of the map as I go through them. I'll quickly mention that the 16-player version of the map has one control point that isn't on the 32 or 64-player versions, and that is the Office Buildings point. This is a Conquest Assault map, in which one team acts as the attacker and another acts as the defender. On this map, the MEC are the attackers, and therefore have uncapturable bases to start off from. They also start off with more tickets as well. And the USMC are the defenders, automatically controlling all the capturable points on the map. The 64-player version of Sharqi Peninsula has a total of 9 control points. The uncapturable MEC points are the Beach House, Outskirts, and Clubhouse, while the capturable USMC control points are the City Entrance, the Surveillance Post, the Alleyway, the Construction Site, the Hotel, and the TV Station. And there are no neutral control points on this map. Due to this being an urban warfare map, many of the buildings throughout the city can be climbed using ladders to gain access to the rooftops, while a few others can be garrisoned by infantry. This small bridge north of the city entrance can be destroyed and slow down MEC vehicles on their way to the city. The Beach House is the first MEC forward base in the southern part of the map. There is only one main entrance to this point, and that is west via the dirt road, and the Beach House itself is the only building here. For the commander's support structures, both the UAV trailer and radar station are located by the helipad. As for the vehicles that spawn here, one Mi-28 Havoc spawns at the helipad, 2 Vodnik light vehicles spawn next to the house, and 2 Ribs spawn at the docks. One Eagle AA emplacement is near the radar station surrounded by sandbags. The Outskirts is the second MEC forward base in the western part of the map. The 2 main entrances via the main road to and from this point are in the east and the south. There are a few brick walls around the outskirts, and a couple of the walls have holes that players can move through. There are 10 buildings here, but only one of them, near the south entrance, can be climbed. For the commander's support structures, 2 D-30 artillery guns are located north of the point in a field of grass. As for the vehicles that spawn here, 1 T-90 tank spawns next to the flagpole. 2 Vodnik light vehicles spawn south of the flagpole near the road. As for the stationary emplacements, 1 RPK LMG is on a small concrete barrier, and an HJ-8 AT launcher is located west of the flagpole. The Clubhouse is the third MEC base in the north part of the map. The 2 main entrances to the point are in the east along the main road, and the southwest through a small opening in the wall. There is also a small hole in the brick wall in the south as well, that infantry can move through. The Clubhouse is the only building here, and it has a ladder on the back that players can use to climb to the roof. And on the roof is an RPK LMG emplacement. As for the vehicles that spawn here, 2 Vodniks spawn by the house, and a BTR-90 APC and 1 more Vodnik spawn on the main road. The only other stationary emplacement here is an Eagle AA launcher next to the flagpole. The city entrance is the first capturable US-controlled point on the map. The point can be accessed from all sides in the north, east, south, and west. There are a few holes in the brick walls and metal fences that are around the point. It is also surrounded by several buildings, but I'm only going to focus on the ones that can be climbed by infantry. Those being these 2 buildings north of the flagpole, with ladders on the back of them, and this building directly south of the flagpole with steps. No matter which team controls the point, no vehicles will spawn here. As for the stationary emplacements, 1 LMG is in this bunker northwest of the flagpole, next to an AT launcher. Another AT launcher is directly south of the flagpole, and another LMG is on a concrete barrier, and 1 more LMG is on the sandbags right next to the flagpole. The surveillance post is the second capturable US-controlled point on the map, and is directly east of the city entrance. The main entrances to the point are along the dirt road in the north, west, and south. There is also a hole in the brick wall nearby the flagpole that players can use to move through. Just like the city entrance, there are several buildings around the point, but I'm just going to mention this building as it has a couple of ladders that players can use to climb to the top of it with. No matter which faction controls the point, no vehicles will spawn here. And as for the stationary emplacements, 1 AT launcher and 1 LMG are located near the flagpole, and 1 AA launcher is north of it. The Alleyway is the third capturable US controlled point and is north of the construction site and northeast of the surveillance post. The three main entrances to this point are along the dirt road in the north, southeast, and west. There is a hole in the metal fence here that players can use to infiltrate the point with. And there are two sets of stairs players could use to get up the hill itself. There are 8 buildings around here, but these 2 buildings can be climbed using ladders. And from the top of this building, one can jump to the roof of the building next to it. Regardless of which faction controls the point, one light vehicle will spawn next to the hole in the fence, and one LMG emplacement is on the sandbags next to the flagpole. The construction site is the 4th capturable US controlled point, right in the middle of the city. The 2 main entrances to this point are in the north and the southeast. These steps in the south can also be used by infantry to quickly get up to the site. The fence surrounding the point has 5 holes in it that can also be used by infantry. And 1 hole is in the metal fence east of the flagpole. These 2 buildings nearby can be climbed using ladders on the back of them. This small guard post can also be garrisoned. The 3 buildings under construction here all have steps in the middle of them that are used to get to the top floor. There are also ladders located on each of them that also allow the player to get to the top floor as well. The crane can also be climbed and is a great location for snipers to pick off enemy troops down in the city below. Regardless of which faction controls the point, one light vehicle will spawn east of the flagpole, and only one LMG is located on a small concrete block on the 2nd floor of this building below the flagpole. The hotel is the 5th capturable US controlled point, south of the construction site near the coast. The 3 main entrances to this point are along the road in the north, east, and west. There are 3 steps in the south that players can use to get up to the point from the coast. There are a few buildings around the point, with these 2 being climbable using ladders. This building here, west of the flagpole, can be entered and has steps inside of it that lead to the rooftop. Where a Stinger AA launcher is located. No matter which faction controls the point, one light vehicle spawns near the garrisonable building, and another one spawns between the hotel and the pool. For the stationary emplacements, one AT launcher is north of the flagpole, and an LMG is on the low wall next to it. And as previously mentioned, an AA launcher is on top of this building. And finally, the TV station is the 6th and last capturable US controlled point on the map, west of the construction site. The only main entrance here is in the north along the main road, but infantry can use these steps west of the point to get up to and from it as well. There are 2 holes in the brick wall in front of the TV station, and a few holes in the fence surrounding the station that infantry can use as well. This building north of the TV station can be climbed using a ladder on the side of it. As for the TV station itself, players can quickly get up to the flagpole using the ladder at the front of the building. The main entrance to the building is right below the flagpole, but there is also an entrance at the back of the building as well. Once inside, players can go up and down a flight of steps. They can either go to the second floor, where the flagpole is located, or to the rooftop, which can be a great location for snipers defending the point from attackers on the ground below. For the commander's support structures, the UAV trailer is next to the TV station, the radar station, and one LW-155 artillery gun is west of the flagpole. And the last LW-155 artillery gun is south of the flagpole. Regardless of which faction controls the point, one light vehicle spawns next to a radio tower, and a tank spawns near one of the artillery guns close to the cliff. And if the US maintain control over this point, one AH-1Z Viper attack helicopter spawns at the helipad on top of the TV station. As for the stationary emplacements, an AA launcher is next to the radar station, an AT launcher is next to the tank spawn, and an LMG is on a small concrete block next to the flagpole. So there are a few other locations throughout the map that are not control point locations, but I do think are of interest to mention. There is this funny sign advertising Dice Cream on them. The man on the sign may have been one of the developers that worked on the game. This sign can also be seen on other maps such as Mosture City. Across from that sign is a large blue water tower. This water tower can be climbed and is a good location for snipers on the outskirts of the city to spot and pick off targets from long range. And there are a couple of these wooden fences on the north side of the city. That can be destroyed using various explosives, and open up new pathways for infantry to move through, as they fight their way across the battlefield of Sharqi Peninsula. So I just wanted to quickly say thanks to everyone who watched the video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I plan on covering all the maps for Battlefield 2 in this series, so if you want to get notified of when the next video is uploaded, you can subscribe to the channel, or click on one of the cards on screen to watch a previous video. And thanks again for watching, and hope you have a good day.